Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Susan Lindner, your host of Innovation Storytellers, where we get to the stories behind the breakthroughs. This is a show where people come to learn how to tell a better story about the innovations that they work on. And it's really important to take into account so many different perspectives around your story. How many of you are working in large corporations with people from all over the world? Are you thinking about how you're delivering your message, how it will land in different places, whether you're speaking to colleagues in Brazil or Beijing or Bahrain? What are you doing to make sure that your message is landing with the people around you? So today we're going to take a walk through innovation and innovation storytelling with a unique perspective. And it's why I'm so excited to have new voices joining me on the show today. I want to introduce you to Iffat AlRowaithy, who is the Corporate Innovation and Innovation Center Unit Head at a fantastic global bank in Saudi Arabia. It is internationally recognized for its innovation, thanks to Iffat and her team, with more than 10 years of experience leading transformation around the financial, public, and private sectors. Iffat specializes in building enterprise innovation functions from the ground up, embedding an entrepreneurial mindset across organizations and aligning innovation with corporate strategy, business value, and organizational culture. She is a certified Chief Innovation Officer and Chief Innovation Strategist and a certified innovation assessor accredited by the Global Innovation Institute, an organization I care so much about, and I've just recently joined the board of advisors at Ginny. Throughout Iffat's career, she has led high-impact innovation programs that have delivered real measurable business value and earned regional and international recognition for her efforts. Her achievements include the Distinguished Innovator Award, the Distinguished Global Innovation Institute Ambassador Award, the Rising Woman Leader in Enterprise Innovation Banking Sector Award, and recognition as the most innovative woman leader in digital banking innovation in Saudi Arabia. She serves as a Global Innovation Institute ambassador and has been featured in international innovation publications and magazines, and is a jury member for several regional and international innovation and business awards, contributing to the evaluation and recognition of world-class innovation initiatives. Iffat, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcoming. Great.
So everyone around the world has a different view on what innovation is. And I think a lot of innovation professionals fail when they don't establish what the definition of innovation is in the organization that they're coming to. Because in our minds, we all have a different definition of what innovation means. How do you go about setting a baseline, having worked in so many different public, private, and financial industry sectors? How do you set that baseline or gain understanding with those who bring you on board to innovate, to get a baseline of what innovation is to them?
Okay, good question. So first of all, each industry and each organization have their different view of what does innovation mean. Sometimes you go and you see someone cares about the end product or services that they have. So it's only about product or services. Sometimes it's about the customer journey and the customer centricity. Sometimes it's only about making a small adjustment on the services they have. So you cannot really know what does innovation mean in each organization until you go and ask the sponsorship, what do you mean by innovation? And after you do that, you really need to have like a common language that everyone uses. So when you go to an organization and they ask you, they want to innovate, you really need to know what do they mean. Sometimes I've been asked to go and do a couple of interviews and for innovation, and sometimes they just want a customer journey, and that means something else when they say innovation. And sometimes they really want product, and sometimes they want culture. In my position, I focus on culture, so I really understand what does innovation mean in an organization when you embed innovation as everyone's job, and how to change the mindset to be proactive, to see the opportunities, to scout for the new trend, and also to identify challenges that they have every day in their daily job. So for me, I love empowering, inspiring, enabling employees and organization to come to the potential of innovation.
This creating the same language is so important, and it's so different across industries, right? I think like a lot of people have an expectation of innovation as being a product, a brand new breakthrough that's going to change the world. When in reality, there's so many steps within innovation that make it critical that we do shift culture, we do shift people along the way, right? Because we can't get it done doing things as we've always done. So you have a very unique background. You've always been an intrapreneur or an entrepreneur at heart. Is that right, Iffat?
Yeah, sure. So since I was a little kid, one day my grandfather took me to his mini market, and I grabbed a lot of candy that day and I took it home, of course. And at night, when the shops was closed, I took the candy and I went outside at the door and I started selling the candies. I was lucky that my cousins had money and came and bought from me. Years later, my grandfather told me that he was the one who gave them the money to come and buy from me.
Wow.
Yeah. And he told me that that was so unique for a kid to do that. So that was like my first entrepreneur act in my life. And it goes further and further in each and every like milestone in my life. I will discover that I did something entrepreneurial, and I just have that different mindset. So one of the things also that happened I would not say recently, 10 years ago, when I was doing my master's degrees, we had an entrepreneurship class and we had to do a project. And my project was to build an application or a smart fridge that has an application. And it will tell you what you have in the fridge, and it will tell you the ingredients that you have so you can cook something. So it will help you, right? And then if you go to a supermarket, it will pop up in your phone and tell you what you need to buy for your grocery. And at that time, I remember everyone was telling me, oh, if that exists, we really want it. And 2014, I didn't know what does Internet of Things mean. I didn't know what does innovation literally mean, and I didn't know what does AI mean. So that's a journey of me trying to find myself. And what they always ask me, how did you choose innovation? And I would always say that I did not choose innovation, chose me. Because yeah, I didn't before innovation, I didn't really know that there's a department or a place named innovation within organizations. And I was so lucky because I was one of the first who started in the innovation function within one of the governmental entities here in Saudi Arabia. So at that time, I really knew that, okay, now I find myself. And during my first couple of years of this journey, I went to a lot of innovation centers to learn about innovation. I went to a lot of innovation departments within organizations, and also I read a lot of books. So one of the books that I really love, and I usually try to reflect on it, is The Innovator's DNA. And where it shows the 5 discovery skills of innovation that every innovator needs to have. So it's like questioning, observing, associating, networking, and experimenting. And I believe since I was a kid, I have all of these 5 on different levels, but I have them. So I believe everyone is an innovator by heart, but it depends how are you using them in your daily life.
Mm. Those books early on really can shape us, right? When we begin to read it, almost like our horoscope when it calls to us on a particular day, we're like, those are the 5 things that I'm just intuitively know how to do, or I'm intuitively good at. And you say, oh, there's the path, and it winds up showing up for me. Having worked in Saudi Arabia for a while, like it's been really phenomenal to see that the 2030 plan. And for those of you who don't know, lots of countries around the world have set goals to hit the 2030 milestones. But Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 has been really, it's at a whole other level. And it's involving every person in the country. It is not just about industry. It is not just about the private sector. It's really putting the responsibility of every citizen to help move the kingdom forward, right? And it's very enlivening, I would say, as someone from the outside, to see so many people engaged at so many different levels of elevating the country through innovation. And I'm very curious about some of the work that you've done in on this end, Iffat, your work in the public sector prior to working in financial services. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Sure. So first of all, we are so lucky that at 2016, we posed and we envisioned 2030, and we had a clear roadmap, and we start heading there. If you come and visit us, I think every 6 months you will come and see something different. We were so lucky to build capabilities, leadership, also the infrastructure of digital transformation was one of the best in the world. So I always say that Saudi started the vision, and at the same time that I started also my chapter in innovation, it's at the same time. That's why we were so lucky to bring and go and explore new opportunities in the innovation realm, because everything that we're doing is just building capabilities, building mindset, and changing the culture. So yes, I did worked in a public sector before my private one, and that's where I started the innovation realm. So we were so lucky at then, because I had appointed a project which is building an innovation center. And from there, as I mentioned before, I went and visited a lot of innovation places, Silicon Valley, New York, Singapore, in Europe, and also here in GCC. And I tried to find the best approach or the best flow and the best concept that we can build as an innovation center. And from there, I start working with the consultants all around the world to have the best proposal. And when we had the proposal ready, we got redirect to bring subject matter expert. And of course, right now, after 10 years of living with innovation, a subject matter expert will really know the know-how of the business, the mentality, and the challenges of building an innovation center. So after that, I built a dream team from around industries to come and help us through this vision. But unfortunately, we got posed at that moment. And from there, I had a very great lesson that innovation or innovation center, let us say, is a space. It's a capability. But you need to have the organization, the mindset, and the people to be ready for it. So you don't want to just build a space where no one will come and really accelerate the space. So that was one of the lessons that I really learned at that moment.
Yeah. And that same kind of setting the parameters about what matters to the powers that be, the folks who fund us, the folks who set the strategy that, they want to see results in a certain time frame. All of these things are part of the negotiation about what is innovation. And I think a lot of people leave out that timeline discussion, right? The average chief innovation officer in America lasts 4 years in their role. And prior to that, during COVID, it was around 18 months. So that tells you that the turnover around innovation is not just because people are innovating quickly and then moving on to their next new career. There's oftentimes a big disconnect between what the innovation team understands is the mandate and then what the powers that be and the folks who hold the funding for innovation think the timelines and the product and the KPIs should be. Discovering those kind of choke points, right, is a learning lesson, I think, for every innovator on the planet.
So I like what you mentioned, that the Chief Innovation Officer will have around 18 months, you said, or 4 years?
During COVID, it was 18 months. Since then, it has extended to about 4 years.
Okay. So based on, I'll say based on best practices, to build an innovation culture, you need from 2 to 4 years to build that culture that everyone understands what does innovation mean. It's not easy when you go to an organization and you say innovation. Okay, so what? Innovate. And each and every business, they believe they are innovating. As I mentioned before, sometimes just updating a system, they call it innovation, which is, it's true when it's incremental innovation, it's totally true. But are we tapping into disrupting innovation? Are we disrupting the market? Do we want to disrupt the market? Are we adopting a new technology, AI, blockchain, quantum computing, whatever? Are we doing that? So this is part of innovation, horizon 1, 2, and 3. So when you believe that an organization within 18 months or 4 years will innovate, that's only setting the culture, the mindset, and the capabilities. After that, that's a challenge, yes, of course, because then you need to have, as I mentioned before, you need to have the focus areas of where you want to innovate. You need to have a thesis. How do you want to innovate and what do you want to innovate? You need to be aligned with the business. You need to be aligned with your stakeholders. And you need to really know what's the direction and what is your mission as an innovation team. So what's your mission? Are you here to tell me what to do? Are you here to help me how to go there? What's your position? And it's different because each one of them have challenges. Sometimes innovation departments are solos and they can just do anything new and develop it alone. And sometimes in an organization, no, they work hand to hand with the business. And sometimes it's only an R&D function. So it's different. And I'll tell you from my experience, building an innovation culture, it will take more than 18 months. And it's supposed to be very mature in the 4th year.
Yeah. So let's talk about this move into financial services now. And because you were in healthcare and then coming over to financial services, did you come into the bank knowing that you wanted to create an innovation center? Was that your initiative, or was that the bank said, we need a center of excellence around innovation? Where did that dream come from?
When I started in the innovation realm, I was appointed to build an innovation center. And that was a dream. That was a dream. That was something that I will do. And I didn't know where I will do it. In the financial industry, I had an experience in 2 organizations. One of them, COVID hit and nothing happened. And the second one, I was so lucky. The sponsorship, the leadership, everyone was ready. And this is when you go to an organization that they believe in building capabilities, they believe in culture, they believe in the future, and they really want to be future ready. So it wasn't that challenging to propose that we want to build an innovation center, because we started with the culture and we started with building capabilities, making sure that we have everything aligned with the strategy, with the businesses. Then we asked for the innovation center, and we built a global innovation center that right now we're so proud. It's a benchmark. We have more than 200 visitors from local and global organizations to come and see what we built. The flow is really different. We have zones, and each zone have their own outcome. And we just design it with empathy, right? And we used a lot of different methodologies to make sure that the innovation center can operate all your 5 senses, not just your mind. Because to stimulate your mind and originate ideas and be in the present and be in the mood to innovate, you need to have all your senses ready to align with you.
So I'm imagining there are really good snacks in the Innovation Center. Is that what you're telling me to hit all the five senses?
There is. So there is snacks, there is smell, there is sound, and also the visuals. So there's everything. Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what you want to accomplish with the Innovation Center. And also, can you talk to us a little bit about the stories that you tell senior management and the business unit leaders who want to engage with the Innovation Center? How do you get people on board? What's the story that you're telling to the upline and the downline, as we say, to get people engaged in the center?
So the center is there to accelerate any idea you have. So for us, we don't really like to create from scratch. We like to co-create. We like to discover together. We like to involve with fintechs that is available in the market, right? So for us, speed and time is very important. So any business or any individual employee who have an idea, we will go and try to find a match within the industry and see if we can co-create anything together. So we have a lot of co-creation success stories. And other than that, we love to do prototypes and proof of concept. So one of the things we try to do is we go to the businesses and ask them if they have any challenges they're facing or if they want to use any new technology. So we have an AI playground right now, and we love to play with the AI, and it's in a safe environment. We're still working ahead with AI, and AI is very new within the financial industry. So we just want to be prepared and ready, and we want to make sure that we have great use cases to apply when the AI maturity is ready. So these are the stuff that we do with the businesses and the organization.
So that description, right? Can you tell us a little bit about how you get others to participate? Culture, you mentioned, is such an important part of this. What are the drivers? Like, is it a pull mechanism that you're letting people know about your capabilities? Or is it pushing, like, here are the programs that we're offering to people, come and join it? How do you manage the center?
Okay, so I will not talk about the center right now. I'll talk about the culture in general.
Yeah.
So when we first started and we had an idea management platform, we opened it for employees and we got a lot of ideas over there. But then when we go to business or they have their targets, they have their challenges, and they know what they want to do. So they don't want to really see a lot of different ideas that it will change their direction, or maybe it's not part of their strategy. So what we did, we reverse engineered the thought, and we went to the businesses and I told them, just give me one challenge that you really want to have a solution for, and then I'll take this challenge for 1 month. I will post it on the idea management platform, and we will send it to all employees and see what kind of solutions we will get. And surprisingly, a lot of those challenges were had great ideas from employees not in the same business, right? So we had a challenge from HR, and a person in IT solved that challenge. So one of the challenges was, how can we communicate better with our employees, or if we can have a different channel for our employees. And one of the ideas was to have a podcast. And alhamdulillah, right now, and thank God, we do have a podcast section or zone in the Innovation Center. So this is one of the challenges that we had in one of the departments, and it was implemented. So this is how we it's a push and pull sometimes, right? You're not supposed to be always trying to pull the organization. Sometimes you just give them the opportunity and they will come to you.
So you have to make the offering so enticing that they want to come on their own, right? That they see the need. And that's on us as innovators, as storytellers, right? To ensure that the listener sees themselves as part of a future that maybe they need a little help and support to get there, that there are other folks in the organization that can be useful in supporting their goals.
Okay, so Yes, indeed. People really like the experience. They don't like the promises. They don't even see the promises. So when
Mm.
you give them a really good experience and when they are involved in creating an idea and creating a future, they will be 100% with you. So they need to, first of all, be involved in the beginning, and they need to feel their value, and also they want to be listened, heard, right? And each idea counts. So even if it's a podcast idea or it's the great product that we can launch, all of them are in the same valuation and validation of ideas. And then at the end of the day, we will pick what will resonate with our strategy and our future.
So, Ifat, this has just been a wonderful conversation. I want to just hop in this one topic around AI. And, this is, I just did an interview yesterday where we were having a conversation. Is AI eating innovation? Is there a space for innovation and AI to work together? How are we doing this? Because so many, I was just at a dinner last night of all AI professionals, and it seems almost like there is no other conversation at the table when it comes to innovation than AI. How are you managing AI in your world right now?
Okay, so before managing AI, imagine this. If you and me right now having this conversation with our AI agent. So you have you have this interview right now, podcast, but it's not you. You're not there. Your agent is there. My agent is there. Can you imagine the conversation that will go there? It will
Yeah,
be awesome, right?
it sounds like most of my first dates. I wish I would have sent an agent instead of myself, but go ahead.
Okay, that's funny. Yes, I believe AI is a capability. AI is part of our life. AI is there, so it's our second brain. It can think faster than we can think. However, it cannot be a critical thinker, right? So the human needs always to be there. I'll use AI in everything, but then I need to either feed AI with the information that I want or redesign what they're saying, right? For me, I know any article that they use AI and because I know how AI is talking. And sometimes for me, it's really annoying. I need to fix the AI language over and over again. But still, I believe AI will give us speed to market. There's an experimentation that we did. So I have one of my colleagues who really didn't want to adopt AI until half year last year. He went to a course and he was, oh my God, AI is amazing. I said, okay, I used it since day one, but it's okay. So he's learning to adopt
Yeah.
AI so fast. What we did is, so we did couple of experimentation, which is fun. So we were trying to ideate, and so we start from ideation all the way to a prototype within 2 hours. And actually, we did it in maybe 1 hour and a half
Huh.
using AI. So we
What did you build?
we validate a lot of businesses, but it's like something that we tried. However, using that methodology, I have a program. We call it Champions Program. So I have this program where we bring employee that we appointed them as innovation ambassadors. And this year we were focusing on AI. So we had them ideate and build a prototype with the full spectrum of ideation. So they ideate and then they do a business plan, they do a canvas, they do a customer journey, the marketing insights, everything within 2 hours. It was
Wow.
amazing, all using AI. I was with my friend yesterday and we were planning for a trip and we just used a cloud. We did the full trip and we had it in a website and sent it to the girls on our on
IT.
website WhatsApp. Yeah. So we
Uh-huh.
sent it once. And believe me, I don't have any technology background, and it was fun to do. So using AI is like it's like having computer in the 90s, right?
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like watching Iron Man and, Robert Downey Jr. asking Jarvis every question, imaginable. I feel like we could all appoint ourselves as superheroes, right? We could be dark about what AI's future could bring, or we could think about becoming superheroes with this new technology alongside
Sure.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most of us who come to the Innovation Storyteller Show are pretty optimistic people as a whole. Otherwise, we wouldn't be innovating all the time, trying to make life better for other people. So I
Sure.
want to come to the part of the program where I ask all of my guests. There are three hot seat questions. So, number one, what is the greatest innovation of all time?
Okay. The greatest innovation of all time. I believe because we're in summer right now, AC.
Especially in the kingdom, right? I mean, you know temperatures that the rest of us can't even imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I certainly know walking around with a hijab and a abaya on, black polyester in 112-degree heat, you just want to be like, oh, it's
It's
crushing.
just AC. I was traveling 2 months ago and there was a heat wave over there. They didn't have any AC, so I really, really appreciate AC. So yeah, it's AC.
Yes. Well said. Well said. And if you had the opportunity to join any innovation team in history, which team would you have joined?
Okay, so that's a really good question. I'll join the Disneyland one. So for me, the happiest place on earth, Disneyland. I used to go there when I was a child. I lived in California, and I don't know when I started to go there, but it's something that I always, me and my family will go there because we lived, as I mentioned, in California. And the experience itself is amazing. The way that all your senses will stimulate over there, you're gonna see, smell, taste, and be just happy. So this is one of the techniques that I really use in my innovation daily life. So whenever I want to have an initiative, a program, I would always think about the end emotion of any person, how I want them to feel, and then I go and re-engineer or the project that I have. Until today, when I go and visit Disney, I still have the same emotion. So I really appreciate the innovation behind and all the senses behind the team who did Disneyland.
Yeah. The Imagineering team, right? I mean, they're just such incredible. We've had a couple of them on the show, folks who have worked for Disney, both on the animation side and on the parks and product side. It's really interesting. So I guess you're officially a Disney nerd then, Iffat is a Disney file. They
I
have they have so many nicknames for these. Disults are the Disney adults who can't get enough of all things Disney. And the last question is, what is the innovation that the world needs now?
Nice question. I think it's not innovation. I think it's empathy, which is part of innovation. This is what I really believe. Innovation can last, can die, can come and go, and it will always remain a personal need, right? Like the AC I just mentioned, it's a personal need. The Disney is a personal need. So what I believe is an empathy more than anything else.
Yeah. Yes. We definitely need more of that. Um,
Yeah.
but if people want to get in touch with you and learn more about your work at the Innovation Center, where can they reach out and connect with you?
You have my LinkedIn, you can just post it down. And if you're visiting Saudi, visiting Riyadh, please come and visit us. Everyone is welcome. And if you want to know more about our work, also you can just send me a message and I'll be honored to answer every one of you.
Ifat, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. This was a real gift.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.